This video shows you a core revision skill, how to use flashcards to learn more information and build knowledge over time. First up, let's talk about when you should use them. Flashcards work best when you have two pieces of information to learn, for instance, a word and a definition. They're great for learning vocabulary, key terms in any topic or subject, dates and events, and simple facts or processes. But also, there are times when flashcards aren't a good idea, and that's because they don't allow you to learn the relationships between bits of information you're learning, or anything a bit more complex. Now let's think about what you need to get going. You can create flashcards using card or paper. Card is going to be best because it's a bit tougher. I've used various sizes in the past, but I've settled on A7 as it's manageable and fits in the hand nicely. I've previously used A6, but the bigger cards mean you have a bigger thing to store, and you might be tempted to write too much information on them. So, you've got your cards sorted. What do you do next? Well, take the card and on one side write the term, quotation, or equation, or anything you're trying to learn. This is the term side. On the other side, write the definition, meaning, or use of the equation. This is the definition side. It's best to put it in your own words. It's going to be much more memorable if you do that. Sometimes people are tempted to write 2 or 3 terms on the side of one card, but it's best to only write one singular word on the term side. This is so you learn the individual terms. If there were 3 different words on one card, and I knew 2 of them when I tested myself, I'd be forced to go back over the ones I already know, which is a waste of time. Worse, I might convince myself that I know all 3 when I really only know 1. If you do find that you want to write more than one thing on each card, it might be that a different revision technique is better suited. So check out the other essential revision technique videos I've made on Cornell notes and flashcards. With all the cards now written, it's a good idea to give them a shuffle so that you don't learn them in the same order every time. And then you can start to read from the top one. Read the card on the top, and before you turn the card over, say the definition. You can do this out loud or in your head. If you can say it accurately, put it on the no pile. If you can't say it perfectly, and you can't really half know it, put it on the don't know pile. Some people will tell you to buy flashcards with a hole punched in the corner so you can connect them with a ring or a treasury tag. This does help keeping them together, but there's actually a benefit to keeping them separate. More on that in a bit. I tend to keep them together with a rubber band or any old envelope, but you can get hold of an index box if you like. Here are some extra tips on how to use them. The know and don't know pile can be played around with a bit using what's called the Leitner system. The Leitner system is basically a series of boxes or piles of cards that you will test in a certain order. All the new cards go in the first box. These ones are tested every day. If you get the card wrong, keep it in the daily box. If you get the card right, move it to the next box. These cards are then tested every other day. If you get the card right again, this is moved to the next box, and these are tested weekly. If you get the card right again, move it to the next box, and these are tested monthly. If you get the card wrong at any point, move it to the previous box so it can be tested with more frequency. One thing that people often ask is if they can use pre-made cards or apps. The answer is you're better off making your own. Working out what to write on the card is part of the learning process. As with mind maps, if you can write it yourself, do it yourself, you'll learn more. That's not to say online apps or pre-made cards are useless. They are useful if you haven't got an adequate knowledge organizer that explicitly says things like terms to learn. Pre-made cards are good in some cases because someone has already worked out exactly what needs to be learnt in a course, so that can be really helpful. Be aware though that they're not going to cover the personalisation that your teachers have made into the curriculum, and creating your own physical cards is going to help it go into your memory a bit better. If you want to identify cards from a particular set later, you can use different colours for each subject. That means planning ahead, obviously. Or you can colour the edge of a particular subject with a highlighter. You can even add a star or a dot to the top corner of a card so that it's easily found if you mix up your English cards with your science terms. It's not a bad idea to jumble them up because adding a little bit of extra challenge means it is more memorable. Whatever you do, start today. That way, tomorrow, gets just a little bit easier. Please like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other videos on how to revise.